What's up guys, David Sherback here. Today I'm going to be talking about my current top 5 kendama setups. Now I'm not talking just about shapes here, I'm talking about the whole setup in general, the tama and the ken. These are the 5 setups that I've been playing the most. These are kind of my daily 5 that I rotate through. So we're going to go in order from number 5 to number 1, talk a little bit about each setup. Let's start it off with number 5 here. At number 5 I have the Lock Studios Deadbolt X. This is the collab with Doug Skateboards. It's a sticky clear tama. It's a Maple Ken beach tama. Of course, like I said, the Deadbolt X shape. I got this a couple months ago. It's pretty beat up at this point. This is what I use to compete at Battle at the Border. I have progressed quite a bit with this setup. Just the one thing, you'll see another Deadbolt X later on in this list, but the one thing that continues to just impress me about the Deadbolt X is just the versatility of it. It's just such a well-rounded shape. Like, it's so good at lunars. It's so good at Ken flips. It taps well enough. It's not the best tap dama that I have. You'll see later on that I have a pretty great tap dama, but it taps really good. It stilts insane. I mean, that bevel is huge, so stilts and just stalls in general really lock in. The one thing about this sticky clear, it has worn off quite a bit, and the clear itself has kind of peeled. So the tama itself isn't like the best tama I have in my collection, but I've decided to keep this tama on it because that bevel is just super honed, super worn in, so it just sticks for those stilts super nice. Pretty well weight matched. Again, Ken flips, taps, lunars, just a really well-rounded shape in general. It's a little bit chipped in some places, but it still gets the job done. Yeah, this is still one of my favorite setups. Like I said, I've been using it for a long time at this point, but there you go. The Deadbolt X, Doug Skateboards collab from Lock Studios. Let's move on to setup number 4. At number 4, I have this Kendama ISR hog shape. It's the Scarce collab that they did, so it's got all these nice engravings on it from Scarce. And it's paired with a Sulab friction clear tama. Now, I believe this is a beach tama. It's that classic colorway that just reminds me of Miguel every time I see it. And like I said, it's the hog shape from Kendama ISR, Maple Ken. I actually landed my favorite trick of the year so far, and probably a trick that I might actually submit for Chrome Trick of the Year, which was stilt, 1.5 out, single Ken, single late Ken, back to stilt, 1, 2, 3 of that. If you guys haven't seen that, go check out my IG. I love this setup. This tama really is what makes this special. I mean, it's a good Ken too. This Ken taps really well, but yeah, this tama is just so honed. Friction clear is insane. It really locks in nice for stilts and just stalls in general. Of course, it's insane for lunars, lighthouses, any sort of balance trick like that. The hog shape in general, it's not one of the most like well-rounded shapes in my opinion. It's not great for lunars, but it taps well, it flips well. And this tama definitely does a lot of heavy lifting in terms of making this setup really great. It's not higher because it is kind of heavy. The tama is like quite a bit heavier than the Ken. And it actually, when I'm like seshing this, my arm actually does start to get tired and my shoulder gets a little bit sore because this tama is, it's really heavy. I can't remember exactly the weight of it, but it's kind of a beast. So yeah, really good setup in general. Good for stilts, good for taps, flips. I wish this shape was a little bit better for lunars, but you do kind of get a trade-off with slings. It's really good at slings. So had to put this in the top 5. I don't jam this every day, but for special kind of tricks like that stilt trick that I wanted to go for, I needed something that was good for stilts, but also that like was kind of a fresh Ken, so it didn't have any chips on it, so that I could get those Ken flips off clean without the string tangling. So for special kind of occasions, I guess, and special tricks like that, this setup really comes in handy. I need to get like a lighter friction clear tama at some point, because the clear is just insane. Let's move on to number 3. We got the Deadbolt X from Lock Studios. This is actually from the Gabe mod, the Cushion Clear Gabe mod. The Ken is, and then I paired it up with a Lock Studios times Kendama ISR Rhino Clear collab tama. I got this at Battle at the Border. Rhino Clear is insane. You'll see I've got another Rhino Clear tama coming up here, and just kind of like similar to Friction Clear in a way. Like, it's, I wouldn't say it's as good as Friction, but it's up there for sure. Very durable, sticks like crazy for those lunars. This setup is insane for lunars because, like I said, the Deadbolt X is really honed for lunars. Pairing it that with the Rhino Clear Tama just is unreal. This is a little bit of a seshed Ken. I've had this for almost a year at this point. So this Ken is definitely beat up, but it's not too chipped actually. It doesn't even have a chip on the other side of the base cup. So maybe I don't tap this Ken enough. That's what I'm realizing. But yeah, it's the Deadbolt X. It can do everything, like I said earlier. I need to wear in this bevel a little bit more because this setup isn't great for stilts. It's pretty evenly weight matched. It's not too bulky, not too heavy like this setup. But yeah, it gets the job done. This is maybe my most like well-rounded setup in terms of just if I need something to sesh where I can just hit any trick I can think of, this is what I go to because it can tap really well. It flips extremely well. Of course, the lunars are insane. Again, the stalls could be better, but I just need to break it in a little bit more. So there you go. The Deadbolt X times the Rhino Clear Kendama ISR. Okay, I have my top 2 here. I don't know what I should put number 1. Okay, let's do this. Let's go number 2. Let's go with the Lotus Kendama's Element Shape. This is the Ryoga Champ mod from Lotus Kendamas. Maple Ken, Beach Tama. This is the tapper, guys. This is the tapper. This is the Dama that I was talking about that just taps insanely well. I've been close to hitting 10, and a lot of that can be attributed to this shape right here. It is pretty beat up at this point. Double chips on both sides of the base cup, so that's not great. But yeah, I mean, this thing is great for that in general, taps and flips. I don't do many like stall tricks on it or stilts or anything. It can definitely do that, but that's not what I go to this for, and I don't really go to it for lunars either. Again, you can do them, but not as well as like the Deadbolt X in my opinion. So this is really my like new gen setup, you know? If I need to hit a tap, Ken flip, juggle, banger, this is kind of what I'm going to. Now that I'm looking at it, actually, the string is pretty frayed on this, so maybe I should change out the string at some point. Overall, it's pretty seshed. The bevel is big enough. It's not as big as the Deadbolt X, but apparently this is actually KWC regulation size. Just a really good shape in general. I love how this thing flips. Love how it feels in the hands. Probably would be maybe number 1 if I had a better Tama on it or if it was fresh, but there you go. At number 1 might actually be a bit of a surprise, you know, because I'm a Lock Studios fanboy. I'm a Deadbolt X fanboy at this point. But at number 1, a kendama that I've really started to love recently is the Kendama ISR Scarce Kendamas collab. Again, this is the hog shape from Kendama ISR. Beautiful engravings on the Ken. Rhino Clear Tama, long ass string. This string is so long. And yeah, I don't know. There's something about this setup in particular, and I think it is kind of special to this one because I wouldn't say this one taps as well, but this thing taps insanely well, guys. It might actually be better than the Element. I don't know. It's close between the Element and this, but this is what I'm going to right now for taps and flips. And I think it's a little bit better than the Element that I have in terms of lunars, but mostly because of that Rhino Clear Tama. The Ken itself isn't crazy balanced for lunars, like I said earlier. I think I said in the unboxing that the short spike is kind of an issue, and it kind of is. It's still, every once in a while, I find it really hard to like get leverage on J-sticks and stuff, but I've gotten used to it. You can definitely get used to it and send J-sticks and any exit out of airplanes. It works well enough, you know, like you have to be mindful of it, but once you figure it out and once you get used to it, you can still do tricks incorporating that stuff. So yeah, I am loving this thing. It slings really well. I've been starting to get a little bit more into slings. Stalls are pretty decent on it, and yeah, I don't know. It's tough because would I say this is the best shape? No, I don't think it's the best all-around shape, but in terms of what tricks I'm trying to do right now, I think this fits that need the best, and it's also like the most fresh setup that I have. Everything else here, well, this one's pretty fresh too, but the Deadbolt X's that I have are kind of beat like crazy, so it makes it tough in terms of like the string getting tangled because it's got so many little chips and dents and dirtiness to catch on to, right? So this one's pretty fresh, and like I said, taps really well, flips really well. I wouldn't really go to this for a lunar banger, but again, the tricks that I'm doing right now, I'm doing a lot of Ken flips, long ass string, like I said, it really helps with that. And yeah, there you go. That is my number 1 setup right now, the Scarce Kendamas times Kendama ISR collab. So there you go. Those are my top 5 current setups, the setups that I'm kind of rotating through. One setup that I was thinking about putting in here was the new laced grunt shape that I have. It's just insane for lunars, and I think it's paired with a Rhino Clear Tama. So I was considering putting that in. I just haven't played it enough recently. Those are my top 5 setups. Let me know what your top 5 are down below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.